channel. It's your girl Sean and I'm back for another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a letter that was sent to me from one of you. Before I get into all of that, I want to remind you guys to check out my books. I've actually written 3. The first one is called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book is called Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book is called Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. I'll link all 3 of my books below. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm a certified life and dating coach, and I'm also right now taking new clients. So if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, then be sure to send me an email at itscoachsean@gmail.com. And yeah, I cannot wait to work with you guys one-on-one to help you with your dating issues or your relationship issues or any area in your life where you feel stuck. If you've ever been interested in working with me one-on-one, now is the time. Go ahead and book me for July. All right, so now without any further ado, let's get started with today's video. Let's go get 'em. Hello, Coach Sean. Thank you for all of the work that you do for us out here. I need your advice. P.S. Please be gentle. I should warn you in advance on the foolishness that you are about to read. Just note this is pre-Jesus, okay? LOL. I suppose I should also note that you have my permission to use this in your videos. From the outside looking in, my family is pretty picture perfect. The neighborhood, the cars, the kids. The marriage, however, is on the verge of ending. I met my husband when he was 20. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, for my age at least, 4 years. Red flag number 1. My ex is in another continent and a long distance thing just wasn't working. I met my husband online and everything just seemed perfect. We were both in school, almost done with our degrees, and wanted to start a life together. He seemed head over heels for me. I found his confidence sexy. He seemed like he knew what he wanted in life. That really attracted me to him. I was never head over heels for him like he was for me. We were in different states, so after talking all the time, we met in person. He attended my graduation, and after I finished co-op, we decided to move in together while I finished my last semester in school. Red flag number 2. Because of this decision, my parents started pressuring us to get married. He and I talked about it, and he said that he was definitely planning on getting married, but just not on such short notice. I felt the same way. But so as not to disappoint our parents, red flag number 3, we got to court and got married after only 8 months of courtship. I was hesitant to marry him. A lot of things just didn't feel right, but I did it anyway. It was, after all, a part of my twisted view on being rebellious. I was always a good kid that did everything right. I always listened to my parents, you know, colored inside the lines, until this time in my life. So I wanted to feel like I was doing something different, something unexpected, without feeling like I owed anybody an explanation. In the back of my mind, I did think that if it didn't work, I would leave the marriage. In the last 6 years of marriage, we've had 3 children in total, only 2 living though. We lost our middle child when he was only 2 months old. That was really hard on us. Hubby did absolutely nothing when it came to decisions. I made all of the decisions. It was like he was a rock, just stuck. My heart breaks when I think of how much time my hubby missed out on spending with our angel baby and our current kids, as he spends all his free time gaming, board games, video games, going to game stores, playing games with his friends. I did see a few of these traits when we were dating. Red flag number 4. He is also not in charge of our finances. I am. I do all the budgeting, pay all the bills, make all the decisions when it comes to money. I file our taxes. He was not taught any financial independence growing up, and I never got to figure that out since I got married to him right after he graduated. The only upside to this is that he's not judgmental on how I spend the funds. He will go to work and let me have free reign over how the money is spent, as long as he has some left over, which he usually spends on more games. There has also been infidelity. I'll explain. It was first online, erotic role play with several individuals on a game called, I'm not plugging this game on my channel, but she says you can look it up if you're curious. That leaked into our real life phone sex, Skype calls, pictures, videos. I was done with the marriage at that point. I prayed over it and decided to give myself some more time to make a decision after my rage had cooled, especially since there are kids involved. We tried to work things out. I tried to get away for a few days. We got intimate, but every so often all the infidelities keep coming back to my mind and I just withdraw. After things got so bad between us, I decided I was done and that we were going to live as roommates until the end of the lease on our house and then move out. While I was under the impression he was trying to make things work with me, he was secretly seeing 2 other women that he was being intimate with. I could list too many things here, but I think at this point, you get it. I made a decision that I knew I should not have made from the beginning and brought life into it, my babies. And while I would not trade them for anything, I really cannot stand their father at this point. I fully understand this is my fault to begin with. I should have listened to my gut/intuition. I'm ready to leave, but I feel for my boys. While he doesn't spend any time with them, they adore him. I am now saved and I love Jesus, but at the beginning I wasn't. I've extended grace to my husband over and over again, but at this point I feel like there are consequences to my actions. Am I forever doomed in this marriage because of a mistake that I did? And I'm also certain that I'm ready to leave this marriage. I'm not looking forward to dating again or anything like that. Men are the last thing on my mind. I'm just worried about how this decision will affect my kids. I'm also worried about failing God. I truly feel like most days I feel God's love and joy, but all I see is darkness when I think about my marriage. I've left some things out because I didn't want to make this any longer than it already is. Oh, please see the disclaimer up there again. I appreciate your opinion. Stay blessed. Now, I don't typically read letters that are that long, but there are some of you that love long videos and you want to get all the facts, and I wanted to make sure that I read every single word so that you guys can make an informed decision when you're commenting in the comment section, all right? So for this particular letter, I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. The writer of the letter went on her own. As you guys heard throughout her letter, she put red flag number 1, number 2, number 3, them moving in together after only a few months, them getting married so quickly, her seeing that he was obsessed with gaming, him being irresponsible with money. She highlighted for herself all of the red flags that she knows that she is, I guess, mature enough now in retrospect to be able to say, I ignored all these red flags in the beginning. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do her letter as a cautionary tale for all of you out there. When you see all this up front, it's okay to cut your losses and run. I think that the reason why she married him is because she felt pressured. And what kind of bothered me about what she said in her letter is, I've always done what my parents wanted me to do, and marrying him was my act of rebellion. But you also said they told you to marry him. So you think you were rebelling, but you really weren't. You did exactly what you've always done, which is exactly what they've always told you to do. If you really wanted to rebel against your parents, what you should have done is say, you know what? I'm not sure that we're ready. I'm not ready. He's not ready. We'll wait. It's only been 8 months. That would have been your act of rebellion. Not marrying somebody and complicating your life as an act of defiance for your parents. Like, the only person who that hurts is you. And now you're seeing now that it also is going to affect your children. You saw red flags from the very beginning, but you ignored them. Him being obsessed with the gaming and him not being financially responsible. Honestly, I think that's why he married you. I think he married you because he loved the fact that you could kind of be his mommy. It feels like from the way that you've written the letter, that's what you've kind of been. The mature one, taking care of everything. Like you said, as long as he has some money left over to play games, you said how old he is, but man, he sounds like a teenager. There are some men that are older chronologically, but emotionally and mentally, he sounds like a teenage boy. All he wants to do is play games with his spare time. Play games online, play video games, go to gaming stores. And then he has the nerve to be cheating on you? Why are you still living with him? It's doing nothing but torturing yourself to live under the same roof with a man who is withdrawn from you, withdrawn from your children, a man who is dating other women, being intimate with other women. It kind of sends mixed signals, and it can send mixed signals to your children, especially when you're trying to explain to them that mommy and daddy aren't together anymore, but yet you're still there with him. If it were me, I would ask him to leave. Just because of the fact that what it's doing to the children, how it's hurting them, that he's right there and not wanting to interact with them. I feel like he was never mature enough to be married, and all you getting married did was compound that fact, make it more glaringly obvious. And I think had you dated him longer than 8 months before you married him, all of that would have been revealed even more. You had already seen some things, but you were trying to, what you thought was rebel. Now that you've seen exactly what he is and who he is and how irresponsible he is when it comes to marriage and fatherhood, I think you have to be the responsible adult that you've always been and sort of isolate and protect your children to make sure they don't see that. It's your job to guard them, their emotions. You don't want them to feel unwanted or unloved. You don't want to put them in situations where he can just reject them over and over and over again. And living under the same roof with him not wanting to spend any time with them and always choosing gaming and that gaming life and other women and all of that over them, it's just going to eventually take a toll on them and their little self-esteem. You asked me to be gentle, and I've done my best to do so, but you also have to take responsibility for your part in this. We're here because you wanted to rebel, because in the back of your mind, you said it in your letter, if it didn't work, I would just leave him. You never thought about the idea of children could be involved and all of that. Like, he was irresponsible, but to a certain degree, so were you. See, this is the downside to parents always urging people to get married until they're ready. Don't let anybody pressure you. If you're watching this video, if your mom is asking you and your dad or our family and friends are always pressuring you to get married, if you don't feel ready, don't do it. The only person it's going to hurt is you and any future children you may have. You have to do what's best for you. And at the end of the day, where are your parents when you're being tortured like this? Where are your parents when you're being cheated on? Where are your parents when he's rejecting the children that he made? Where are they now? Everybody wants to tell somebody how to run their life, but they don't have to deal with the consequences. So you can't let other people dictate what you do to your life. This is your life. Like I said, he is definitely irresponsible and immature. He wasn't ready for fatherhood and he wasn't ready for marriage, but honestly, neither were you. Because of the main reasons why you married him in the first place. You don't make a huge decision like this just to get back at your parents. If I were you, I would ask him to leave, and if he didn't leave, then I would leave. Because I wouldn't continue to torture myself by living under the same roof with somebody that has little to no regard for me, my feelings, and especially the feelings of my children. So for the writer of this letter, I want you to know that as long as you've asked God for forgiveness, he's forgiven you. It's already erased from his memory. Don't continue to beat yourself up and punish yourself for a decision that you made when you were young. You were so young then. Everybody makes mistakes, but there was a blessing that came out of it. You have two amazing children that you absolutely love and adore. So it wasn't all bad. But take this and learn from it. In the future, you're going to get married when you're good and ready, no matter how much pressure somebody puts on you. You're going to always do what's best. When you see red flags, like all the red flags that you took the time to outline in your letter, you're not going to keep on going. You're going to stop it right then and there. And for everybody out there that sees, oh, he drinks a little bit, or sometimes he curses me out, or if you're seeing red flags, you don't have to stay. It's only going to get worse when you get married, when they don't have to pretend to be this good guy anymore. You've always been financially responsible, so you know that you'll be fine. It sounds like he was present physically, but he's never been present emotionally or in any other way for you and your children, so you know that you're going to be fine. You've been supporting the family all this time, so you'll continue to do so whether he's there or whether he's not. But don't torture yourself and your children by continuing to stay in the house with him while he's rejecting you all. If you know that it's taking a toll on you, imagine what this rejection is doing for your children. You've learned a heck of a lesson. But make sure that you fully learned it so that you won't continue to make that mistake in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. If you want to support the movement, do little things to support the channel. All you have to do is like, thumbs up, subscribe, share this video on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. For those of you that always do those kind of things, thank you. But if you want to see this channel continue, if you want to see videos like this come to you more frequently, support it. That's all I ask. And if you want to further support the movement, consider purchasing one of my books. I've written 3. The first one is The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book is Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my last book is called Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. All 3 of my books are on Amazon, Kindle, and BarnesandNoble.com. I'll be sure to link all of them below so you guys can check them out. All of those things helps to keep this movement going. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.